Morning, class. So today, as you know, we're going to be working through how to work backwards through the area of a circle. And it's important that we are able to manipulate our formulas in math and science, that when they give you certain information or certain variables, that you can solve for everything just using algebra. And you should be gaining confidence each and every day we do it. The steps are the same. There's one new button many of you have never used on your calculator before, but we'll get to that in a second. But the steps are the same no matter what we're doing in this measurement unit. You always start with the formula. So remember, you recognize that this is the area of a circle because of the squared symbol over 52 centimeters. And we start with the formula for area of a circle. The formula for area of a circle is pi times radius squared. Now your next step is to put in everything that you know about this question. Well, we know that 52 is the area of my question. We also know that 3.14 is the is pi. What we don't know, however, is what radius squared is. Now, when we're doing this, this looks just like circumference, looks just like our one-step algebra questions. We know we have to isolate r and get it by itself. And what's happening to it right now is 3.14 is multiplying it. In order to isolate, we have to divide that away. We have to do the opposite operation to both sides. Those will cross out, and what you have now is r squared is equal to 16.56. Now that's great, but we really still haven't figured out what r is. We figured out what r squared is. And remember that r squared over here on the side, r squared is really r times r. So for instance, if I gave you something that said, like off the top, that 25 is r squared, you'd have to really think in your head, what two numbers, when I multiply them by themselves, are going to equal 25? And because 25 is a perfect square and a fairly easy number, you should know that 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 will be the radius. But in almost every case what we're doing in our math work, it won't be that simple. It won't be 25 or 16 or 36 or 49 where you can tell what two numbers. So now we have to use something called a square root button. We use the square root button to get rid of that squared symbol right there. So to write it, so you're showing all your steps, you write it as the square root of 16.56 is equal to r. And many of you have your buttons on your calculator, you just have to figure out where they are. And the square root of 16.56 is 4.07, and that is r. The other thing that might be confusing you a little bit is that the variable is on the right-hand side, and I know many of you prefer it to be on the left-hand side. You have to get past that. You know it doesn't make a difference what side it's in. So there's our answer. We worked ourselves backward through the formula and came up with a radius. We're going to do it a couple more times, and then it just takes practice. So I'll move my questions along a little bit. Move this out of here, put it way down there. Then I'll take this one and move it down here so we can get started on our next one. So, to talk about it, our first step every time is to start with our formula. A of a circle, area of a circle, equals pi r squared. Your next step is to fill in all of the information that you know. I know the area is 108. I know pi is 3.14. And I don't know what r squared is, but I have to put it there. I know that I'm trying to isolate for r and r squared, so I'm going to have to get rid of the 3.14 that's beside it. It's multiplying the r at the moment, so I need to divide it to get rid of it. And you're going to divide it from both sides. They will cross out, leaving 1 r squared. And you now have to find out what 108 divided by 3.14 is. Calculators, you'll need them for this unit. The r squared is 34.39. Now we're getting there, we're getting close to a solution. But remember, I don't need r, or sorry, I don't need r squared, I need r. We have to get rid of this squared symbol right there. And the magical button that we're learning about today that will do that for us is the square root button. 34.39. You take the square root of that and you'll find out our answer. So you just simply press the button on your calculator. 5.86 meters is how big the radius is. And there's our answer. Hopefully you're catching on a little bit, but we will have plenty of time for practice in the next couple days. But we're going to do one last one before we get to our work today. So, think about it before we start. Where do we start? And hopefully in your mind you're saying, Mr. Ross, we always start with a formula. Because we do. Area of a circle is pi times radius squared. Your next step, fill in what you know. The only thing I know right now for sure is 46 is my area, and I know 3.14 is radius every time. I don't know what r squared is. That's what we're trying to find. I know that 3.14 is multiplying by r, or multiplying the radius, so I have to get rid of it. Because I'm trying to isolate for r. I'm trying to get it by itself. They'll divide out, leaving me 1r squared over here, and 46 divided by 3.14. That would be 14.65. Now I'm rounding because remember you only have to go to 2 decimal places at any time. In order to get rid of this squared symbol, we have to take the square root of 14.65. And the square root of decimal or 14.64, I hit my button simply, and it's 3.8 centimeters I'm using this time, equals r. Don't be reluctant to do it because the r is on the right hand side. As I told you before, you just have to get used to it. Different, it does not make hard. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's any harder to do. I used the example before that I can say, my name is Mr. Ross, or Mr. Ross is my name. Didn't matter where I put my name in that sentence, the information is the same, and it's same with algebra, and it's same with your formulas. Doesn't matter if you have the letters on the left or the letters on the right, it's the same steps in order to solve it. This comes, or success comes with practice, and confidence comes with practice and making sure you keep reviewing and doing all of it, because our next step is to put all of these concepts together in word problems. And in order to do the word problems successfully, you have to confidently know 3 ways that we did circumference and the 3 ways that we figured out area and parts of the area question. So work hard today and ask lots of questions, because tomorrow we hit the word problems. Good luck.